Welcome back, all you teachers, to Jen's Teaching Corner. Just wanted to show you a quick video of some features in Canvas regarding quizzes. So, by now, hopefully, you have created your first quiz in Canvas. And with these quizzes, there are a couple of things that you can do just to make sure that students are not cheating on a quiz or not exiting the quiz before they're supposed to. So I've just gotten into a quiz that I'm going to do today with my class, and I wanted to show you this feature really quickly. As you are putting your quizzes together, when you're in the edit feature, one of the things that you definitely want to do is require an access code. And this access code can be anything that you want it to be, but you need to require it because if you don't, then what can happen is students can access it before you intend on them to access it. On a previous video, I mentioned how I don't really mess around with these right here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this because this is not necessary if you have an access code. And I do recommend that you make it letters and numbers. And if you're administering the same type of quiz to different classes, once my first class is completed with the quiz, I will change the access code. Again, you only want to change the access code once everyone in that class is finished taking the quiz, and that way you don't have any issues. I do want to do an added layer of protection because I don't want students going to other websites and trying to look information up. So we will use Lockdown Browser. And basically what Lockdown Browser does is it locks the students in the screen and they are not able to go and do a copy and paste, or they're not allowed to print. There are a couple of other things I'm going to show you. So if you're going to do Lockdown Browser, this is what you'll want to do. Click Lockdown Browser. Once you get there, there's some helpful video tutorials, or you can just keep watching this one, and then you'll continue to Lockdown Browser. Once you're here, all of your quizzes will show up, and I'm looking for a vocab quiz. This one right here. You want to drop the arrow down next to that vocab quiz and go to Settings. Once you're in Settings, you will want to change your selection to Require Respondus Lockdown Browser. Okay. I do like to uncheck this because once all of the students have taken the quiz, I want them to be able to see what it was that they missed. So you'll uncheck that, and then you'll see your password is still the same. But before you save and close, go to Advanced Settings. If your school is like mine, we actually have iPads that students can use during quizzes, and I actually find that iPads are a little easier to function than laptops in most cases. So what you'll want to do is you will want to make sure that you allow the students to take the exam with an iPad using the Lockdown Browser app. You'll want to make sure with your media specialist or your IT specialist that the iPads actually do have the app installed on them. So that way students just simply have to click the icon. Now, Lockdown Browser also works on a desktop or a laptop, and you'll still have to enter the code. And instead of going into your regular, whatever you use, Chrome or Edge, there will be an icon, and I'll show that to you. So before we leave this, let's go ahead and save and close. And then you'll see when you go by the quiz, you'll see that it requires the Lockdown Browser. Let me show you what the Lockdown Browser icon looks like on the desktop. So whether it is the iPad app or on a desktop or a laptop, this is the icon that you'll see for Lockdown Browser. You'll want to instruct students to click that instead of their internet browser, because that icon right here is the only way that they're going to actually be able to get into the quiz. Now, because we are in different circumstances with quarantine and things like that, what I'm doing is I'm requiring this in class. And then for students that actually have to do it at home because we're face-to-face, I'm going to remove it. There's another way that I can see if they've left the page, which I don't really like doing because it just takes a little extra time. But I'll go ahead and show that to you just for the sake of keeping it all in one video. So I'm in one of the quizzes that I gave in class, and I did not use the lockdown browser because I forgot about it. And I'm sorry if it's a little weird, but hopefully you can follow me. I had to change my screen size to protect student info. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're in your quiz page is you can go to moderate this quiz. Once you get there, you will see a list of your students' scores and their attempts and everything that they've got going on. So if you see like there's one attempt left, that means that that student hasn't taken it. Or if your administration hasn't removed that student from your course and they're no longer enrolled, they may still show up there. So I'm going to go down to a student that I know he had some outside of Canvas things that he must have been doing. And this is just a conversation I have with the student. So let me find that student. Okay, so all I did was pull up the student's attempt by clicking their name. And then you'll see, you can see their quiz and what they did. And then you can go over to view log to pull up some things. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, at first it'll look like nothing. And then as you keep going, you can start to see these things right here. Stopped viewing the Canvas page. And this could be for a variety of reasons. It could be that the screen went dark and they had to jiggle the mouse or whatever. But what you want to look for if you have to go this way is for large timestamps. And I don't remember, I feel like the student did have, okay, so like for example, this was an entire minute that was stopped. So that would be something that I might talk to the student about and see what was going on back there when they were taking the actual quiz. So this one's only 30 seconds, so it probably was just the screen was dark or something like that. So these are just little tools to help you when you're administering quizzes in Canvas. I do recommend the lockdown browser, but obviously if you are completely virtual and not face-to-face, that could be a bit of a challenge and it probably will wind up being more of a headache than it's worth. But I do recommend trying it, at least when you are face-to-face, so that you can see how it works. Hope this helps. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment if there's anything else that you need help with or want a video for I can't talk, from an actual practical teacher perspective.